So, for example, asset management will help us to know where a specific piece of equipment is and what is the status of that equipment, or potentially even some things that are not physical, like a phone number. We might have an inventory of phone numbers that our company is selling or assigning to customers. So, um, so far, what jBilling would do is it would sell products to customers without knowing how the actual individual unit of that product. So we could sell a phone to a customer, and we would create the product in jBilling. We would then create an order for that customer and put that phone into the order, and that's it. But jBilling doesn't know which physical phone went to that person. Is it blue or red? Is it a used one or a new one? Is it big or small? The brand, the serial number, and so on. We would not have any idea of that. So this is the asset management comes to fill that gap. It allows you to track your inventory, so then there's less errors of what happens with why some service is not working, or why some subscriber is complaining about something. It helps to reduce errors and then eventually save time, because if the bidding system also tells you the status of a specific individual units of products, then everything is under the same umbrella, and it's easier to find things and to find information you need. So these are the key features. We have tracking inventory. Um, which ones are available? It's a very important part. What is it that I can sell, and what is it that I cannot sell because it's either already sold and assigned to a customer, or simply not available because it might be broken, or it might be in transit, it might be deactivated, who knows. But I can see my inventory. And inventory of what? Well, the inventory of assets that we need to describe. So we have a, a way to customize what is it that that we track as far as an asset goes. How do we describe an asset? It's completely configurable. So that's a very important feature of this new module. And then last but not least, we have the automated asset management, which just allows you to eventually link asset management to provisioning. Um, so the assets have statuses, and those statuses can be transitioned depending on events that happen. So, for example, say you sell a SIM card or a calling card. So you sell a calling card to a customer, and that calling card um, is received by the customer, but then the customer needs to activate the calling card. Well, the jBilling can know that that calling card is with the customer but not yet activated, and when it's activated, it can call some provisioning steps. So the system that delivers the actual service, in this case, phone service, would be notified. So what is an asset? Assets are anything that you need to track individual items from them. So if you want to sell subscriptions and just subscriptions of a service, well, you don't need asset management for that. If you're going to sell, say, a subscription to a service like GoToMeeting, well, you don't need to track assets for that. You just, when you get a new subscriber, you enter in the system, and that's all. And jBilling has done that for 10 years, and that's not a problem. But when you need to send the customer a specific piece of equipment, like say a router or a modem, and you need to know which one is that the customer has, that's an asset as we describe it here. So let's take a look in the system how this works. I have this version of jBilling running, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start with the products. So in my product categories, you see, that's where assets start. And if I create a new category, the new category in jBilling will or will not be um, capable of tracking assets. So it all starts from product categories. So if I say that this is my let's say modems, this category will be for all products that are of the category modems. And all of the sudden I think, well, and you know what, modems, it's something that I would like, I need to track each individual item of them. So I click on that, and and I can say, well, the identifier, I will call them just modems. It's the most simple of all, but I could use whatever else. And whatever product I create under this category, I'll have the opportunity to start uploading individual assets for that product. So I am in the configuration screen right now of the of modems. I'm not in the configuration screen of asset management as a whole in jBilling. I'm just configuring the type of asset modems. And I need to describe two areas of this asset. One is the kind of statuses that that asset will have, and the second one, what kind of data, or basically what kind of information describes this specific asset. Okay, so let's start with the second one because I think it helps understand better. So I will add a meta field. So meta fields in jBilling have gotten quite complex, and I'm not going to get too much into the details. We use meta fields for all sorts of things now in jBilling, um, and including assets. So, for example, in my modem, I can say the the brand. I will need the brand, and I'll make that mandatory. And by default, it should be Panasonic because this is the brand we use the most. And then I will add another one, which is the model, which should also be mandatory. And I will also add the, say, serial number. And it's also mandatory. Just to give you a brief idea of all other things you could do here is we could have pretty complex validations for this specific field. So people don't enter uh, clearly wrong information as model. If our model was just a number, well, it could just be a number. We don't need to do much else. Or if they say that it was only we only sell three types of models and that's it, so we could just have an enumeration. This would be like a list as well, right? So we can pull that from a drop down box. I don't want to get into too much into the meta fields, but just to say that there's many things to do. So these are modems. Here will have a brand, a model, and a serial number. um, and now what I need to do is I need to describe what kind of statuses they will have, because the whole point of managing assets is to track them, to know where they are or what they are doing, and if I can sell them or not. So the first thing will say, okay, so it's in transit from from the wholesaler. And then I have another one, which is, say, in warehouse. And when it's in the warehouse, we can sell them. So I click that this particular status is available. Then I can say that when someone orders one, it goes in transit to customer, shipped, is not available anymore. When we upload an asset, we by default we can say that they are in the warehouse. That's typically how they start their life. Now, another thing that could happen is that then the customer might return the asset, and then it's available to someone else. And finally, a modem could be broken, and then it's not available anymore. Now, when I sell this to a customer, um, it should go into ship to customer, I guess, but also it could be active or in use. Well, let's just put ship just to simplify things. So again, I need to describe my statuses here. So I need to say when I put this and modem into an order, what kind of status is going to be used? Is going to be the shipped. And as you can see, I can create as many or as little um, statuses as I want and describe them. Same with the fields. So now I save my, let's see if everything is good. Everything looks good. I save it. And now I have my category modems. And my category modems just need some products there. So I will add a product which will be a product that is um, the gold uh, 100 fast. So this is a new modem that we are selling, and as you can see, it's going to belong to the category modems, which has that little star there, which uh, signifies that it is a category that allows for asset management. And if I confirm here that this particular Gold 100 fast modem will be asset managed, then I will be able to upload individual items of it. So product code is something I need. Let's call it gold. And I believe that that should do, well, we need some pricing. Let's just sell this for $50. And dependencies or more meta fields, we'll skip all that and just save. So now we have a category that is the modems and a specific type or a specific product that is the Gold 100 fast modem. It is now that I can start adding assets. So to add assets, I click this button and then I will be able to add them manually, but I could also upload the asset. So if I click here, I can choose a file and upload 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 um, actual items of this particular type of modem, and then the system will know about them. Since I don't have a file to do this, I will just create one manually here, which also shows you the manual procedure is the same as the upload. It's just the upload saves me a lot of time. But what I will do is just create a new asset here, and as you can see, I have my brand and my serial number. Could be um, something like this, and the model would be the X100, and this that I have here is like the unique identifier. Let's say 123 that my asset has to have. That's internal to jBilling pretty much. So I will save this particular asset, and you see that by default it goes in the warehouse, right? Because that's our default. So let's say I save this one, and just for the sake of having a little bit more of something more interesting, I will create a new one, which is the 124, and this one is broken already. It is the same model. It doesn't have the same serial number, and I could validate that the serial numbers are unique. That's part of the meta field definition. And then I can have, say, one more in the warehouse, just so at least I have two that are available for sale. This is a slightly different model. You have, of course, a different serial number, same brand. So I have three modems that I am managing, three modems of this particular product. And something that you can see here now is that we have filters, because I could have 100,000 individual assets here, or a million, and I might be looking for a particular one. If I just to see what where is it, or what's going on with that particular asset. So I have filters here to quickly find um, an asset. So I can have a model. Let's find the. So if I want to say, well, show me the X100 only, then, well, these two are X100, and if I want to see the X101, then it's only this one. So I can find assets by their status, by their a unique identifier. Remember, we enter that for each of them. All that is part of the of my filtering here, and I can add more. You see, I can add different type of the brand if I wanted, because all this is dynamically generated from the description we gave to my type of asset in the product category through metafield. So all this is it's dynamically generated. All right, so I have now uh, a category that allows for modems. I also have a product that is parts of that category, and I have three assets. And to complete that part, let me show you some other category I created just before starting this call for calling cards. So if I edit the category, you'll see that this one has very different meta field, so it has the type and the pin number, and then the statuses are also different. Finished when the calling card would be exhausted from minutes, well, it would go into this particular status. Activated, this is when the customer is actually using it. So I can describe a totally different type of asset, and I can create as many as I want. All right. So to wrap this up, let's move forward a little bit on my slides to see also kind of like an overview. Um, how do we go about creating um, new assets? How do we track them? What is it that the life cycle of an asset? We start by uploading the asset into the system. Typically will be coming from a file, but there's nothing preventing you from entering assets manually. Then we save an asset into the order. This is what we're going to do next. Then we could delete an asset from an order, so it goes back to where it started. And then another way we can find an asset getting out of a customer account is because the order that has that asset reached its expiry date, or if it's active until date. Let's take a quick look to the order side of things. So if I go, and I have unfortunately just one customer in this instance, keep in mind this is a lab instance that we're using for testing, so it's not truly a demo site to make nice presentations. So I have Bob the buyer here to buy things, and it's a it's a buyer that has bought a few things already, which makes for more complicated um, demoing. But let's just create I will create here an order, and I'm going to create an order that is monthly, that is prepaid and initially is active and all these things. Let's just leave them as they are. And I will add products to this one. Notice that there are many things being tested for future releases on changes and discounts and sub orders and all sorts of interesting things that um, will not cover today. But these things do make my presentation a little bit harder because I'm not familiar with all of them. So if I get to my Gold 100 fast modem, I am selling this product to this customer, and it asks me to choose an asset because it knows that this product is it's configured to track assets. So I cannot just sell this modem and put it in the order without telling at the same time which specific modem I am selling here. So I wanna I wanna sell a modem that is in the warehouse. You can see here these are the ones showing up. Because why do I get those only? Because these are the modems that have a status marked as available. I describe my statuses so the system knows when to use a specific asset for something. In this case, I'm being shown these two assets. Okay, so now I've got my asset in this account, and I'm using what we call now order changes, which allows for a more complex order management and totally out of scope for this presentation. Let's just say that all in all, what I have here, it's a it's an order with this particular modem, which has um, an asset. So by ordering a modem and selecting an individual asset that belongs to that modem type, then it is that that asset gets into this customer account. And now I have, when I select the order, I have an asset section that describes that, well, this order actually is having these assets in it, of the Gold 100 Fast product. And I can actually take a look to the actual asset and see all the information of the asset, the brand, the serial number, the model, and so on. And the status now is shipped. Why is it shipped? Because of the status that I marked as when it goes into an order, which status the system should use. Well, it should use shipped, and that allows me then to to make less mistakes when it comes to transition assets from something to one thing to another. Therefore, because it's now shipped, I won't be able to assign this same asset to another customer because the shipped status does not is not marked as available. Let's take a quick look to that. If I go to my modems and here, um, actually I would need to go to the category itself. What happened is that it is using the shipped because order saved is marked, and now is not available anymore for anybody else. Only the returned and in warehouse statuses will allow someone to assign an asset to a customer. And of course, there's a variety of ways then that I can find an asset. But it's important to mention that there are many ways to go take a look to an asset. I can take a look to an asset because I am browsing a customer account, and also I have I can just go to the whole list of assets for a specific product and just try to find one. What else? So finding assets, I think we covered that. We can find assets directly by looking at the product that we want. So what I want to find this particular asset, I can see show assets, and I see all the assets, and I can start looking for them. You can see we just shipped this particular modem is not available anymore. Or if I have a customer, I can see Bob the buyer, and I can just take a look to the orders that this fella has, or maybe I can inspect. This is something I'm not too sure, but I might be able to see the assets directly from here. No, no, only through the orders. For looks like I would need to say, okay, Bob, show me the orders that you have. Okay, you bought these, you have these orders, and in this particular order, you show me the products that you have. Okay, let's see. This is my latest one. Yeah. Well, I just have the assets right here as a box. Not, I don't need to click another button. So I just see that this particular order has this particular asset, and and those are the two ways to get to find specific assets, from a general list and filtering that, or browsing through a customer account. And that's pretty much it. The bottom line, or the conclusion, is that you can you can enter any number of assets types in the customer. It does not force you to do assets for all your products. You can say modems will be asset managed but these subscriptions will not be asset managed. And then you can configure exactly what is it that the data for that particular type of asset, and then you can describe the statuses that you need to track for that specific asset, upload the individual items that belong to that product, and start assigning them to customers. And later on, just find out what happened to that asset and so on. Okay, no more questions. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this was useful for you. If you have questions, don't hesitate. Suggestions on how can we make this better. Thank you very much, all of you, and have a good day. Bye bye.